Hello, Damien from Spark Angels again. Today we're going to be doing a rebuild on an iPhone 6s Plus after we have replaced the Tristar, also known as U2IC. Right, so that there is the Tristar. It's a small little bit chip on the board that is being replaced, which is located on the back of the board under this little shield. So that has just been replaced. So that is in charge of the power and the charging of the device. So the device wasn't charging at all. After changing this chip, the device should charge perfectly fine again. So we're going to put it back together, plug in a charger, and it should be working perfectly fine. That was the old chip. Right, so we do have sounds of a London food market in the background. So that'll be quite interesting. Right, we'll go with putting the board back together. Let's get in the boards in these devices. There's a million cables in the way, so you just need to make sure that none of the cables actually sits behind it. Like that one there. Make sure all of them are actually above the board, which is again when you need a million hands. Make sure all the connectors are down apart from obviously the battery connector. You don't want to put that back in. Yep.
Also, if you have any questions, remember, you can just ask us and I'll answer as soon as you put them in the comments.
I'll put some new adhesive in it as well. just lay some new adhesive on it as well, because all the old adhesive has started to peel off.
What would you say is the hardest part about reassembling this?
The hardest part is definitely putting back the main board. Because with putting back the main board, like I said, you've got all those cables underneath it.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that every single one of those cables are not getting pulled out or not getting put underneath the board. And they're actually also above the board. And obviously to do that, you have to kind of move them out the way while putting in the board. So you need to have a million hands just to get them all out the way. Obviously with loads of time doing it, you get used to where the cables need to be and what cables you've got and which ones need to be on top. So it's probably one of the most trickiest parts about putting the boards back on pretty much any device. It's probably one of the trickiest parts.
And what would happen if, say, someone put the board back but it was on top of loads of wires and they were all bent up?
Well, with the wires, it's easier to bend, and with bent wires you can get them to a point where they bend so much they actually stop working. So yeah, you'll have parts that don't work. So like if you got one of the button cables under there, the buttons will stop working when you put it all back together. Or same with pretty much any of the other ones. You'll just, once you turn the device on, when you do your checkouts to make sure that everything works, you'll notice that there's things not working. If obviously they've just left the cable behind there and not realized, it will not work for that reason, but you could also obviously damage it while putting it back and not realize until you open it back up and look at the cable and you realize one of the cables is actually damaged. So yeah, pretty much just broken cables really.
Are the cables that are attached to the board replaceable through soldering, or
generally most of them you can just swap out.
Yeah.
Because most of them will be like your power buttons, your dock cable, you've got your signal cables which go on the back, and the small little round cables. Yeah, pretty much all of them are replaceable. You just need to buy obviously the new part and install it, which does mean having to take out the board again to do them, but yeah, they're definitely replaceable.
Well, obviously it's not advisable that anyone messes around with their logic board if they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the whole purpose whole reason for taking out the board on this one was to do that Tristar, and obviously it's underneath the board on that side, so you have to take out the board to do it. And micro soldering isn't really something that anyone can do. You do need special equipment, like a microscope, a hot air station, and sometimes a soldering iron, depending on which ones you're doing. So it's not just something that anyone can just kind of pick up and do.
Juicy tomatoes. Come again.
Alright, nearly there, nearly get to the point of testing the device, making sure it's all charging and working fine. Alright, so once you put the board back in, put everything down, just do a double check, make sure everything is all good. We'll close that up. So now that this is all closed up, we'll turn it on. Right, so that one doesn't have battery life in, so we'll pop it on charge. We should hopefully see charging symbol. There we go. Best light. Can't really see it on what I've got. Right, double tapping the screen sometimes puts it over to the front camera, as you saw, so yeah, neither did I. But I'm hoping you can see it on there. Oh wait, yeah, you can. You can, there we go. Right, so that is charging. And obviously, I don't know how long it'll take to charge up because I don't know how dead that battery was before. But I'll move it over to the screen and you can see that is now charging at a good rate. So we'll go back to that. So not entirely sure how long that will take to charge up. Could be for a good 20 minutes, but it is all charging and it is all working fine. But yeah, so that was just pretty much a rebuild, and just to pretty much go over the little Tristar, as you can see under there, all little tiny soldering points which need to be soldered back and all individually soldered to the board. But yeah, so that little chip controls the power and the charging of the device. So if you've got a device that was working perfectly fine, battery died and not charging up anymore after that, it's generally down to this chip. I mean, obviously it could be the battery, but majority of the time, if it was charging perfectly fine before, your phone died, won't charge up, it's down to this little chip on the board. But yeah, brilliant. So that's, yeah. Right, so I hope you enjoyed the London, what was it, London fruit market?
Some fresh fish as well.
Fresh fish. Hope you enjoyed the background sounds of the London fish market. Not fish market, food market. Brilliant. Yeah, so Damien from Spark Angels, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.